We live in a world where popping a pill is the norm. But what if the very system we trust to heal us is actually keeping us sick? In today's episode, we question the fundamental approach of modern medicine in curing diseases. Is it truly healing us or just suppressing our symptoms, causing us more harm in the long run? Hi, this is Vasudevan, author of Follow Your Heart, Your Brain is Stupid. Let's learn the truth. Hi Arun, welcome to my chat show. It's always a pleasure having you here.
Same here. Thank you so much. And I also love, talking to you. And this is my favorite subject.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Arun Prabhu. Arun needs no introduction in this channel. In this new 4-episode series, we'll be bringing to you our perspective of the role of modern medicine and the healthcare industry in healing diseases and what you can and should do to live a healthy and disease-free life. Many of the things that we'll be sharing with you in these episodes will be thought-provoking and appear controversial. So my request to you is to keep an open mind, listen to what is being said, introspect, and then draw your own conclusions. Okay? In this episode, we'll attempt to answer the question, is modern medicine truly curing us, or are we depending on them in ways we shouldn't? Arun, let's get started. I've prepared a list of questions. Let me try to see how many we can cover. Yeah. The first question to you is, what are your thoughts on the fundamental approach of modern medicine in curing diseases? Over to you.
Great question. See, first of all, let's understand that when we talk about modern medicine is not so modern as such. Because if you go and Google who's the father of modern medicine, you will be surprised that it's, do you know who's the father of modern medicine?
I faintly remember something like Socrates or Hippocrates or something like that.
No, Hippocrates.
Uh-huh.
And Hippocrates,
the Greek guy, right?
And he was Greek physician, and he belonged to the age of Socrates, who's again also a philosopher. And they categorize that human beings have got 4 basic natures. ठीक है, like हमारे इसमें कहते हैं पंच तत्व से हम बने हैं. On a similar pattern, Hippocrates believed that we have 4 different natures, and those 4 different natures represented by 4 characteristics, which he said: blood, black bile, yellow bile, and your mucus or phlegm. And he said, according to his philosophy, if all the 4 are balanced, then the human being is healthy. He's healthy. And whatever disease which happens because of imbalance of any of these 4 nature. Similarly, if you go to Ayurveda says about 3 doshas, which is Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, and they say that imbalance of these brings in diseases. So any science always deals with human beings having their nature. So the first assumption is all human beings are not the same. हम सब एक जैसे नहीं है, दिखते एक जैसे हैं, but हम सब एक जैसे नहीं हैं. We have different nature. So when we have different nature, we have a different interpretation of the disease, different interpretation of कि हम कैसे face करते हैं world को, हम कैसे face करते हैं challenges को, and हम कैसे face करते हैं any attack on our immune system.
Got it.
So that is the basis. So even modern medicine also acknowledged that this is it. And till today, do you know, doctor, most of the medical colleges have this oath, which is again named after Hippocrates. So they say Hippocratic oath, which says that you have to, in nutshell, it says that you have to deal each patient with compassion, with caring, and with understanding. Compassion, caring, understanding. Fine. Now, where did the manipulation happen? The manipulation happened after the Industrial Revolution. Because after Industrial Revolution, we suddenly found out that human beings don't have to do everything. There are machines who can do many things for us, right from cooking something to, textiles, and now even interpreting and understanding and being empathetic. So the Hippocratic oath, which was said that the doctor has to do, because Hippocrates said that clinical observation means he has to use his brains to, diagnose what type of disease this person has got and what natural remedies can I give to this person depending upon the imbalance of the 4 elements.
Okay.
Which we also say that the 4 elements are the fire, water, earth, and air. And the fifth is obviously Akasha, which we say. Okay? So these four elements have to be balanced, which we also say. Now, what happened is after Industrial Revolution, we started, using machines and started laboratory practices because we got access to, our chemical knowledge also increased. So we also came to know that there are so many other compounds also. And suddenly we found out that we can have a chemical formula to replicate curing business. So which means we can administer certain chemical compounds into a human beings to suppress the symptoms. So suddenly from cure industry, it became symptomatic industry. Which means अगर आपको टेम्परेचर है, let me suppress your temperature. अगर आपको सर दर्द हो रहा है तो let me connect the connection. अगर आपको सर दर्द हो रहा है तो let me disconnect the warning signal which comes to your mind that there is a pain. Could I explain?
Yeah.
It is not that अगर आपको सर दर्द हो रहा है तो मैं उस सर दर्द को ठीक कर दूं. I will make sure that you don't feel that pain, but the pain is there.
Oh, okay.
So suddenly when we shifted to making patients comfortable, see, the whole industry is now trying to make you comfortable and not trying to, cure. Why? Why? What is the reason? The reason is, if I have to tell you that you have to cure, then you will have to work on yourself. So if I say, let me give you two statements. If I say, Vasudevan, if you have to cure yourself, then you have to do yoga. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to empower you. But the moment I empower you, you will not be my patient.
Right.
Let me rephrase it. Vasu, I know you cannot do yoga because I know you have a hectic lifestyle. I know you don't get time. So I understand that you cannot do yoga, but I can help you, give you a machine which will, make you do yoga. Or I will give you certain things which will actually help you build your muscles. Now what happens is, now I'm not empowering you, now I'm enslaving you. Okay. So the first approach which went is, let us make them comfortable, because comfort is an addiction. AC has become an addiction. So that's one fundamental difference which happened after the Industrial Revolution. The second thing which is very much challenging is, if you don't know anything, can you become the master of that subject? For example, if you ask me about chemistry, and I don't know about chemistry, I know I'm very poor at remembering all the chemical formulas. But still, if I say no, even if I don't know what chemical formulas are and how do they react, but still, I am your chemistry teacher, and please do as I tell. What will you feel?
My acceptance will not be there, because I know my teacher doesn't know anything about chemistry, right?
Absolutely. Now, what I would like to Google, if you can Google it right now. The second thing is, modern medicine, as of today, modern medicine, they do not have the reasoning why certain diseases happen, any of these diseases. For example, let's do some survey. Can you Google the cause of diabetes?
1 minute.
Can you Google and show it? If you can share the screen, that cause of diabetes. What are the causes of diabetes? Okay. Can you read this? Diabetes is primarily caused by the body's inability to produce enough insulin and by its inability to properly use blah, 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 blah. So they say that diabetes is caused because the body doesn't produce insulin. Now, this is not why diabetes happen. This is how diabetes happen.
Got it. Yep.
Do you know the difference between why and how? Because if you say that body is not able to produce insulin, then I'll come to the next question. Why the body is not able to produce insulin?
That's the root cause, right?
Yes, but they are not going into the root cause, that why the body is not inability to produce insulin. So what they say, since you are the same thing which I gave the analogy of yoga, I'll tell you, since you are not able to produce insulin, don't worry. I know that the lifestyle is today doesn't allow. I know the food which we eat have got fertilizer and blah, 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 blah. I will give you insulin. So don't worry. You will stay healthy with my insulin. Okay, cause of cancer. Say mutation and within cells and uncontrolled cell growth. This is how. This is not why.
Right.
See, they have written why. Okay, lifestyle disease. Okay, smoking. My mother died of cancer within 3 months. Now let's go one by one. Smoking, no, she never smoked. Alcohol consumption, zero. Diet, she never used to eat outside. She only used to eat home cooked food, which she prepared. She even didn't eat food prepared by others because she always said कि नहीं यार तुम अच्छा प्लेट नहीं धोते हो, तुम अच्छा नहीं करते हो. She always was finicky about this thing. She always used to eat her own cooked food. Okay, obesity, no, she was not obese. So the first four are, radiation. How come radiation come to my mom, हाउसवाइफ, ठीक है. केमिकल कार्सिनोजेंस, नो, शी नेवर यूज्ड टू टेक बिकॉज मैंने पहले आपको बताया था. ऑक्यूपेशनल हजार्ड, नो, शी वाज अ हाउसवाइफ, फाइन. Infections, okay. Inflammation, no. The only point which comes is aging, no. This also I refuse because she was what, 60, I think so, 66 when she got cancer. So none of these are actually the causes of cancer. And for that matter, I can talk about my mother. Anybody who has got cancer, go and study out of all these. If one, except aging, aging is something which everyone ages, but then 60 is not age to have cancer. What about people who get cancer at the age of 40, 50?
I completely agree with you there. I've seen so many cases, some relatives of ours, no smoking, no alcohol, nothing, right? And he had throat cancer or lung cancer, right? Come on. I said, what, this guy doesn't smoke, and there's somebody who's smoking like a chimney, but nothing happens to him. So,
absolutely. You can disconnect this. So the point which I wanted to prove is most of the the causes which they have given are actually not the root cause. For example, see, I am anti-smoking. I always say that people shouldn't smoke, not because it causes cancer, because it actually affects your healthy lifestyle. So you will have challenges in breathing, you will have challenges, walking, you will not be your immune system will be weak, you will catch cough and cold faster. All these are okay, but if you go through that number of cases who have lung cancer, you will be surprised that the total number of people who smoke, almost recent data said that almost 28% people in the world, rather more, I think so it's more, they smoke, which means out of 800 crore people, almost 300 crore people smoke, but 300 people don't die of lung cancer. The people who die in lung cancer are in lakhs, not in crores. So what's the point which I want to make is modern medicine is in a hurry to get cure without understanding the actual cause. So they are only telling you the how it happens. How diabetes happen? Body stops making insulin. This is how. This is not why. None of the diseases they have come out will say why this happens. But yes, Ayurveda and all other these things, they have this why. We can tell why this happens. Fine. Now the third point. The third point is there are approximately 3 to 5% of the world population is sick. Okay. 96% people are not sick. Okay. Now the challenge is, since modern medicine it's getting more and more exposure because of the money involvement. It's become a business. What most of the pharmaceutical companies thought was the market share. When we say what is your market share, so even if they get 100% market share of 3% sick industry, the business won't be much. So how to drag this 96, 97% who are healthy into this business? By making them feel sick. Okay. So even if you don't have diabetes, you are fine. They say, get your health checkup. Why should I get my health checkup if I'm fine? Tell me, why should I get my health? And again, it's a paid free health checkup. See, I'll get my health checkup only if I've got headache or I've got something, palpitation, feeling uncomfortable, fine. But why do they say free health checkup? Because that's a bait. Why? Because the moment you fall into this bait of free health checkup, they will give you certain parameters and make you aware that you are diabetic. See, most of the people, when they are diagnosed with diabetes, I've asked them, did you have any symptoms before you went to the test? You'll be surprised. They said, no, I went to a regular checkup and then I came to know that I had diabetes.
This is exactly what Dr. B.M. Hegde says. You go to a doctor, you will come out as a patient.
As a patient, yes. Yeah. Because what happened was when they found out that The parameters are not getting in more, more of the, so they are now reducing the parameters. Let me again give you a very good example. See, there are five or six type, more than that, 5 or 6 type of bear. Okay, bear. Now let's understand that bear is one species which has got similar traits. They eat similar food. They have everything. The only thing is there are different because of the region. Like polar bear, they are into the Antarctic regions. Your grizzly bear, your Indian bear, your brown bear, your black bear. So there are different varieties of bear, but they all belong to the same category. Similar like human beings. Human beings also have got 5 species. White, yellow, brown, black, and red. 5 species of human beings. So we also have 5 species. So like China and all, they are or yellow, and Europeans are white, Indians are brown, Africans are black, and America once used to be red. Fine. So these are the characteristics. So obviously, all the characteristics will also have different, your body parameters depending upon the area which you are in. For example, somebody in Africa, hot climate, somebody in India, hot, humid, and multiple types of climate, and somebody in Europe or Netherlands with always cold climate, or Canada where you have -degree centigrade. Can you make a parameter of having the same blood pressure or the same everything? Now go and Google and understand. Go to Google and check white polar bear, pulse rate. You're all different. You will find a variation of 40 to 60. Some have got 40 pulse rate, some have got 60 pulse rate. Now, if the bear community said we have to set a standard of how to make people whether sick or go, and the white community, the white polar bear say 40 should be the standard, then all the brown bears will be declared sick because they have got high blood pressure.
Right.
Does it make sense? Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Does it make sense that a person who's I'm happy with my 150 blood pressure because my body has suited myself to be happy with 150 blood pressure because I eat spicy food. I have a lifestyle of energy. I am energetic, so my blood pressure will always be high. But I'm okay with it. But when I go to a test, I'm being told you have high blood pressure. And now what the next challenge is, suddenly you will start lowering my blood pressure. That means my body is used to 150 blood pressure, but now you have made it 110. Now I am uncomfortable.
This is real ironic.
Now I'm uncomfortable because I'm used to. See, if I'm used to shouting like this, if I'm energetic, and suddenly you say, sit like this. Because that's not natural. This is natural. So I'll get depressed. After a few weeks, I'll say, yaar, pata nahi yaar, energetic feel hi nahi kar raha hu main yaar. But we need energetic people. Now coming back, why? What are the 5 tattvas? Air, water, earth, fire, and akash. Air tattva, talkative. Agar mera air tattva mein talkative hoonga, so you can't judge me and say you're too talkative, reduce your talkativeness. Fire characteristics, I am energetic. They always are energetic, powerful. They say, shut down, calm down. No, I have got fire characteristics. The world needs fire characteristics. Earth characteristics, they are very, very meticulous. So it says, stop being meticulous, boss, you are too meticulous. Or the water characteristics, they are peaceful. You are very peaceful, you don't talk, you should shout. Can you make a standard for everyone? You can't. The moment you are going against the nature, people become sick. And that is, again, converting those 97% into sick industry, because that's the biggest industry. Business, ye socho ki 3% of the population is able to have, this big empire is built on 3%. What about another 10% if it is added? How big the empire will be? Okay. Then obviously last is the malpractice. It happens that when there is an ecosystem of, making money, most of the hospital, what we see, 13 lakh ka bill ho gaya, 56 rupees ka gloves laga diya, 6,000 rupees ki dawai hai, we can get it at 100 rupees or 200 rupees, and they are charging 6,000. This is all part of the ecosystem. Now it is becoming an ecosystem that let's snatch whatever money. In all this ecosystem, health goes down the drain. Nobody is bothered about, are we really talking about health? Are we really making a healthy society, or a society dependent on medicine?
In the 4th episode, of this series, we'll do a complete episode on how the doctors or the healthcare industry is really scamming us. So now what you're saying is the entire approach, instead of focusing on the root cause of the problem and then healing that, we are focusing on the symptom, we are focusing on the how and not on the why. That's what you're saying, right? That's where the whole problem comes. In fact, there was another question that I had listed on in continuation with the same thing. Doesn't this approach create dependency or create new health hazard? Because when we start, especially I've seen that the minute a doctor starts you off on medicines, for example, cholesterol is high, and they put me on medicines, and they say that you can't stop the whole life you're going to have, or take painkillers, every painkiller in excess of, obviously in excess, because I understand that if you're really suffering from very very bad headache, you'll pop in a paracetamol, that's fine. But these painkillers and all, what happens is, I'm sure they have a lot of bad side effects on other organs. Can you share a little bit on that? You can very briefly do it, because this is the fallout of the approach that we are taking, right? I mean, that's what I thought. Maybe it'll be relevant in this episode. If you can very very briefly.
No, no, absolutely. What I will see, what are chemical side effects are a different side effect. I would, phrase it. I will actually give you an analogy to understand in a layman's language. Fine. So that will make you understand much better that why side effects happen. See, for example, if a person has diabetes, one of the reasons, rather the biggest reason of diabetes is not the ability to digest sugar, or not the ability to produce insulin. The biggest thing is all diseases are psychosomatic. Let me first tell you.
Right.
I've done a lot of research, and a lot of people have researched that 101% diseases are because of only two reasons: psychosomatic or lack of immune system. That's it. If your immune system is strong and you're emotionally strong, you'll never get any of these diseases, period. Now, whenever you have say diabetes, which means it starts from the fact that you are not able to digest the sweetness of life. So the first is, it starts with your self-talk that okay, yaar, everything is happening bad. यार मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है यार, कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं होता है. Something like this. If you keep on cribbing, you will understand. See, any diabetic patient you go, you will find that he doesn't laugh very heartily. He doesn't make fun of the situations. He's not used to. He's very serious. He's always disturbed. Now, what happens the moment you say, I cannot digest the sweetness of life, I cannot digest the sweetness of life, it manifests into, okay, so you don't need insulin. And suddenly what happens is, now your pancreas, they stop secreting insulin because say, yaar, isko kya karna hai, bekar ho raha hai. He's not able to digest the sweetness of life. Now, in that case, if I give you any chemical thing which can produce the insulin, which is again going against your nature, so what happens? Instead of all the pressure which is now on pancreas, it will go to another organ, because the energy is there inside you. Unless until that energy is not diffused, you are only suppressing. It's like this. If you can't get out of this door, and if I shut this door, but you want to get out, you will find another door to get out. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
So I have to actually diffuse the thought process that why do you want to get out? That will actually make you feel comfortable, rather than reinforcing my door. Because if I reinforce one door, you will bang the second door. So what happens when the energy inside me is not comfortable? It says I am not uncomfortable with life. This life is, getting on me. Nothing is happening. And suddenly you put my insulin on that, which anyway I have, stopped. What happens now? The effect goes on to your kidney, because that's the next. Kidney and liver, they are the two main organs which get affected immediately. So many times, if you see most of the people who take blood pressure medicines or any type of medicines, why is it that kidney immediately gets affected? And kidney is, आज की टाइम देखें, kidney dialysis is on the rise. This is the aftermath. This is one of the aftermath of all the chemical compositions which we have been ingesting in the name of blood pressure or diabetes. So obviously, you'll have to diffuse this thing कि अंदर जो आपका pressure, it's like the pressure cooker. I don't know whether it makes sense. मतलब, could I communicate in a very layman's language? That why do side effects happen? It's not actually side effect. It is venting out from one or the other way. If it doesn't vent out through pancreas, it will vent out through kidney.
One quick question. We just have a little more time. This is an interesting question. See, our body is designed to fight disease, right?
True.
But what we are seeing is people have lost faith in their body's ability or capacity to heal, and they've become more and more dependent on medicine. At the drop of the hat, they run to the doctor, start taking medicine. What is the reason that this has happened?
Good question. Suppose let me give another analogy. Suppose your son comes to you and says, "Ki I'm getting demoralized. My job is sickening me." What will you do? What will be your, as a father? What will be your reaction?
This thing, I will first try to understand what is the issue. What
Absolutely.
Why is
Then
he
what will you do?
why is he feeling, and then I will sit down and try to analyze what options we have. Either change the job or look at some other
In
opportunity.
short, in short, you will motivate him. In short, you will
Yes,
motivate
I
him to
will try
fight
to,
back.
definitely. Yes.
You will motivate him to fight back.
Right.
Unfortunately, with due respect to all doctors are not the same. You go to a doctor and say, "I have diabetes." How many of them say, "Oh, don't worry, it's curable. I know you can fight it." Come on, you. How come you got diabetes? Yeah. Let me understand. How many doctors have you heard speaking this language?
Hardly.
Contrary to this, they'll say, "Did your dad have diabetes?" "Oh, it's hereditary, or I know. It's now lifelong. You'll have to eat medicine. That's it." What if if you tell your son, "Arey, yaar, I know you are good for nothing. All along you will all along you will have to actually be dependent upon what money I give you. So I know you are good for nothing. You can't do anything. It's hereditary. Don't worry. You will have to go through what I went through. So I'll keep on giving you money." Will that work for your son? Unfortunately, we are being told that you cannot fight diseases. Unfortunately, we are being going to told पूरी जिंदगी खाना पड़ेगा. And we respect these doctors. We respect all the doctors, and we say, आप मेरे भगवान हो. आपने जो कहा सही कहा. Some of the challenges are basically the जिनके पास धरोहर है, the people who have to actually motivate us to, and not all doctors are the same. See, again, a disclaimer, I'm not blaming all the doctors. Most of the doctors have become like this, that नहीं हो सकता. I don't know why they do this. At least give a false hope. False hope is better than this. So what the answer to your question is, we have been fed through advertisements, through advices. एक कैपिंग आ गया है, डायबिटीज है, अब ठीक नहीं होगा. वी आर आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस. सोशल मीडिया, इज डायबिटीज रिवर्सिबल? मतलब वी हैव गॉन टू दिस एक्सटेंट दैट वी आर एक्चुअली आस्किंग कि क्या डायबिटीज से बच सकते हैं हम. अभी yesterday only I was talking to someone, she said I have diabetes and all. मैंने कहा it will be curable, and you said यार क्योर हो सकता है यार, इफ यू क्योर आई विल बी सो हैप्पी. मींस इतना दिमाग में बिठा चुका. किसने बिठाया? हु हैज इंजेक्टेड दिस बिलीफ सिस्टम इन अस?
Right.
Who? How will a common man fight this? Demoralizing people that you can't be cured. Cancer is non-curable. Blood pressure is non-curable. Diabetes is non-curable. Thyroid is non-curable. Your knee pain is non-curable unless until you change this to a mechanical knee. What is curable then?
Right. I think got my answer. Viewers, in summary, it isn't about rejecting everything modern medicine offers. Modern medicine is an important role to play. It's about our responsibility to listen to our bodies and to remember that healing doesn't always come in a pill. It begins within. So what are your thoughts? What are your views on this? Please share your views in the comment section. And if you like the content, please share with those you care for. The next episode will blow your mind away. We'll be covering how some doctors, some test labs, some hospitals, and the medical insurance companies are scamming all of us. Don't miss that episode. It's going to be a very, very interesting episode and you'll love it. Thanks, Arun, for your amazing insights as always. And thank you, viewers, for being with us till the end of this episode. It's always a pleasure to serve you. Thank you very much and see you in the next, and don't miss the next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you, Arun.
Thanks.